about a new campaign that will launch next week. In 1973, the Seal of Cotton was found to look at branding an agricultural commodity product to help us show apparel and home textiles, marketing and promotions on hang tags, sewn in labels, and also 50 years later, we can see that the seal is an iconic brand among consumers, and also the global textile industry recognizes our seal. Not only did we have the opportunity to build a brand starting in 1973, but the founders at Cotton Incorporated were intuitive enough to know that we had to measure the success of that brand. By the end of 1973, 18% of American consumers were aware of the Seal of Cotton. 10 years later, that awareness rose to 63%. And then for decades now, more than 3 out of 4 consumers have been aware of the Seal of Cotton. And in peak funding years, that number has reached 86%. Not only did we see significant awareness of the Seal of Cotton, but especially when you compare it to other fiber or fabric logos, it dwarfs the competition. Awareness of the Seal of Cotton is 2 times greater than Lycra. It is 4 times greater than wool and 10 times greater than Tencel, which is a branded rayon. And if we were to show you awareness numbers for other marks that identify cotton products across the U.S., you would also know that the Seal of Cotton definitely has had a halo effect on them, as awareness is in 30% and below for those other marks for cotton. Now, as you look at this chart, you'll notice many of you that are athletes or runners or buy garments for your children will recognize the term dry fit. That is owned by Nike. Without the swoosh, dry fit only has 34% awareness. However, we know that the Nike awareness is significantly higher than that. And in fact, it's almost universal, with more than 9 out of 10 consumers being aware of their trademark. Well, why do I bring this up? Because when we have close to 8 out of 10 consumers in the U.S. consistently aware of the Seal of Cotton, there is a significant difference in expenditures. Last year alone, Nike spent $3.85 billion, that's with a B, billion dollars in promotions and marketing for their swoosh. That's over 148 times higher than what we spend in a given year at Cotton Incorporated. So we're exceptionally proud of the efforts of the teams before us and the teams that are with us today to keep awareness where it is with what we're doing. And these brands know that it's a pay-to-play game, and that's why they put this type of money behind their marketing and promotion. So why the enduring appeal of cotton? How have we been able to keep seal awareness so high? And it's because consumers love cotton, they trust it, they have an emotional connection with cotton that no other fiber can claim. And in fact, when you look at these key attributes, consumers tell us, and this was just a 2023 study, that cotton and cotton blends are 2 to 3 times more likely to represent these attributes than polyester blends, rayon, or other blends made with rayon. And those attributes include comfort, quality, sustainable, breathable. It doesn't irritate the skin. It's easy to care for. It's hypoallergenic. And it's no wonder that consumers associate these attributes with cotton. From the moment we're born, we're wrapped in a cotton blanket. Then we're living in denim jeans, t-shirts, sleeping in cotton sheets, drying out with cotton towels, utilizing hygiene products that contain cotton, and even oil or food that's been cooked in cottonseed oil. Cotton is truly the fabric of our lives. And not only do we see that cotton in the seal exemplifies many of those attributes, but it also eases the consumer shopping experience. When they're looking, it's very difficult to find information that we need today, especially on cumbersome hang tags. And what we see is that this eases the consumer's journey by quickly identifying the product and adding transparency to a brand that uses the seal to help their consumer make an informed decision. So much so that 82% of consumers tell us they'd like to see more Seal of Cottons on product at retail. 82%. That is a significant lift to indie brand or retailer looking to help their product. So 50 years of marketing has no doubt added a halo effect to our brands. The power of the seal is real, and we know that brands using the seal offer a point of distinction, and it's a powerful sales builder. And our brand partnership programs with women's apparel, men's apparel, children's wear, and even home textiles, we've seen a double-digit return on investments when these brands are intentionally using the seal of cotton on curated cotton products, whether that's in-store or online, and also when they have combined this with messaging about cotton. That could be fashion, benefit, or sustainability messaging. More than 4 out of 5 consumers say that a brand using the seal cares about quality, they're authentic, they're more trustworthy than those that aren't using the seal. It's a brand that consumers want to purchase and that they care about the environment. The seal of cotton, when we ask about perceptions of that alone, we know that 90% of consumers say it represents natural. Then we see other terms such as plant-based, safe for the environment. And safe is certainly more important today than it was 3 years ago prior to the pandemic. And 82% of consumers today say it is sustainable. And you can see that's up significantly from 2016. Now, when we talk to consumers, though, about sustainability, many of them talk about durability and longevity. That's what's relevant to them. We know that cotton apparel lasts 1.5 times longer in their closet, or 1.5 years longer in their closet, than apparel from other products or other fibers and blends. That's significant in today's economy. We want to be relevant with consumers. So 16 years ago, we started the Blue Jeans Go Green program, which is a platform for recycling cotton. It's also been a platform for messaging with the seal of cotton and talking about natural, recyclable, circularity, biodegradability, microplastics. We're even going so far into carbon offsets today. We use other platforms as well with digital media, websites, and social media to associate the seal with the environment. So one thing that you may not be aware of is the presence of the seal of cotton. It is famous globally. This map shows you the countries that currently the seal is registered to be utilized in, and it's on every continent except Antarctica that we can track. And there are more than 960 brands that have been licensed over the 50 years to utilize the seal, with 190 worldwide licensees. That means anywhere in the world that they have product, they can put the seal on it if it qualifies to utilize it. With such a great reach, we have great responsibility to protect our trademark. And our legal department does this through a watch service that they employ. And in a given year, they average about 125 alerts, letting us know about other entities that may be looking to license a mark similar to ours to represent cotton products. We want to make certain that it does not infringe on our trademark and that we have the opportunity to protect it whenever needed. So that many trademarks would only be looking at to be applied for if it was relevant. We know the seal of cotton is relevant. And over the years, there have been many different ways that we have stayed relevant to consumers. And the next few slides are just charts to show you just a fraction of how we have done that. In the 1970s, we started branding an agricultural commodity to create that and for consumers to start to be aware of what they were purchasing. By the 80s, the seal of cotton was associated with comfort and quality. Through brand partnerships, it became one of the most well-known brands in the United States at that time. By the 90s, the fabric of our lives was introduced and an emotional connection was made with consumers that are still relevant today. We were also promoting the use of the seal in Mexico and India, and we launched 2 websites and celebrated more than 10 years in China. And as we entered into the 2000s, we started to talk about the environment, that cotton was a miracle of nature, how natural it was on TV. We also looked at potential to market cotton in the nonwovens. We celebrated the introduction of social media sites and also looked at the opportunity to talk specifically about denim and jeans. As we go into the 2000s, we used Rosie the Riveter to help us with that message about the iconic denim jumpsuit, celebrated female farmers. Blue Jeans Go Green with a variety of brands. We looked at the opportunity during COVID to talk to consumers about the emotional and physical comfort and benefits of cotton. And we wanted them to stay safe and that cotton cared about them. As we emerged from the pandemic, we looked at relationships with gaming industries, again, looking at the opportunities to be relevant, and integrated marketing with our brand partnerships not only to utilize the seal into marketing and promotion, but again, at point of purchase to ensure that consumers knew what they were buying. 50 years of marketing, we have seen significant amount of changes in the fashion industry, improvements in technologies. But one thing that has remained consistent is that cotton is one of the most versatile and sustainable fibers in existence. Cotton Incorporated is committed to relevant marketing to meet the needs of the marketplace and to position cotton as well for planet and for sustainability for generations to come. So let's look now about what our efforts are with Ann David in the next campaign targeting consumers.
Thank you, Kim. Good morning. That was a wonderful introduction as well to our brand campaign this year. The brand campaign name is Cotton That Shaped Culture. So the challenge we asked ourselves was this: how do we get our target audience, Zillennials, which is millennials and Gen Z, who suffer from cotton blindness, meaning they know that cotton has always been there and they may take it for granted, to rediscover and check the label for cotton. The insight we landed on was showing the consumer how cotton and the cotton seal have been part of their best moments from the past decades, and that the cotton seal is a promise to make more great memories. And while we know playing the spots on WebEx doesn't always play well, here's a sneak peek of the snapshots from the commercial. So we'll be going through the decades that you see here. We'll begin actually with a beautiful image of the seal, and that will bring us right into the world of the 1960s, then the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Our commercials focus on diversity of product, body, location, people, and a wide variety of cotton-rich wardrobe, as well as key nostalgic moments that brings the consumer then to the present day. So now, while we couldn't play the commercials right now, I will read you the voiceover. How can one thing be sewn into so many memories? Just look a little closer. You'll see the common thread. The best memories are made in cotton. Always have been and always will be. So check the label for cotton and make more memories. So the idea of the spot really focuses on this idea that while there is wonderful cotton nostalgia and we've been part of your lives for the past 5 decades in this way, it is also bringing you into the present and telling you that cotton is the way to make even more wonderful memories. The spot will end on, again, some beautiful pieces of cotton branding. We'll end on our beautiful seal. And then we will literally show a fiber tag with the reminder that your memories made and yet to come have been made in cotton. Of course, we also have our additional branding element of the fabric of our lives, which will actually be done in a very beautiful animated element of being stitched on the fabric. So our nice branding pieces will be our seal right up at the front, and then we'll end on our seal with showing literally a fiber tag, showing them how to check the label, and then of course our the fabric of our lives tagline. I did want to talk a little bit about the process that we go through to create a brand campaign. The process you see here requires many careful steps with both the internal teams and our agency teams, from setting the objective to on air. What I wanted to share was that we started this process last summer with a completely different concept idea, and we got all the way to the consumer testing box, and we realized we needed to pivot completely. So I'm going to take you through a little bit of that story as well. So we had started the campaign process with this idea called time to flow, which was based on the idea that when you're in a flow state, meaning you're in the zone, that you're confident, you're comfortable, and you're most likely in your cotton clothing, and that cotton is a natural place for the flow state. But what we learned through focus groups, 3 cities across the country, was that consumers understood the idea of flow state, and they understood cotton as comfortable and durable, but they did not connect the two. So what does that mean for us when we're in this process? We regroup and we pivoted the concept. We don't, of course, go forward with ideas that don't resonate with our consumer. We took some great learnings from this idea and the focus groups. And what we heard was people wanted to see themselves in commercials. They wanted to understand literally where and how to check the label. And they wanted to understand that it was a cotton moment right away. So we walked back the process and started over. We incorporated those elements, as you saw in the spots I just showed you, into cotton that shaped culture. We then retested that concept again with consumers, and has brought us to today, which is where we'll be on air next week. So the process is very iterative. If it doesn't work, we start over and we find something that does work. So what this now brings us to is the Cotton That Shaped Culture launch, which is going to be Monday, 4/24. So we'll be launching across TV, cable, streaming, digital, and audio platforms. You can see us on broadcast shows such as American Idol, 911 Lone Star, The Rookie, Station 19, as well as cable platforms such as Food TV, HGTV, and TLC. For streaming, we'll be on Hulu, Roku, Amazon Prime, and YouTube Select. We'll also have a robust digital campaign across some of our proven digital performers, such as BuzzFeed, Mind Body Green, and Viral Gains. So most of these images are from last year's campaign, just to give you an example of some of the work that we'll do, but we do have an example of our ending snapshot in the lower left corner. Additionally, we'll utilize our 6 social media platforms as well as our website. We use a combination of paid support as well as organic creative to tell the story through our owned and operated channels. The website, of course, remains a hub not only for the campaign news and campaign style information, but also consistent cotton consumer updates. Also, the campaign doesn't end with the advertising department. We have extensions for this campaign into brand partnerships, where I'm working with Marissa Barlin for the Zoe Report Cotton Shop, which is a curated cotton shop of retro looks. We'll also use denim moments from the decades to work with Andrea Samber from Blue Jeans Go Green to tell the durability of denim story. We'll also be working with supply chain marketing to bring in some of their home retailers for some of the home textile focused pieces that we're doing. Finally, we're working with corporate communications as well to send out a press release to consumer trade pubs to discuss both the seal and the brand campaign. And then finally, while the brand campaign is the main area of focus this year, we do have additional key messages that we'll be sharing through digital and social media platforms, including sustainability, which has such diversity of storytelling. We have many options to tell different cotton sustainability stories, such as the durability story to the lack of microplastic story. We utilize these in different ways with digital publishers or social media platforms. We'll continue our gaming stories that speak to both Gen Z and a younger audience, as well as continuing the Cotton Natural story, which is our cotton story that focuses on activewear. We focus on a non-traditional athlete whose game day uniform is cotton. In the past, we have focused on skateboarders, parkour athletes, and roller skaters. This year, we are considering a rodeo athlete. We'll also continue to expand our youth curriculum efforts with video and additional educational materials for youth under 16. So that is a much younger audience than our media target. And finally, new this year, we'll be exploring the traveler and how cotton can be part of both comfortable and stylish travel. So as you can see, the advertising department has quite a bit going on this year. So I thank you for your time today, and I will turn this back to Christy.